What's going on, my beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Hustle Coast podcast. Today we have an absolutely phenomenal guest on the show. He was a collegiate wrestler. He is a builder at Larsen Construction and podcast host of the Pancake Jake Show. I give you Jake Laursen.
Oh my gosh, dude, I love that intro. I love it. That was great, bro. Yeah,
awesome,
I'm like I said earlier, bro, I'm pumped to the gills for this. This is the first time someone's invited me on their own podcast. So I am just stoked right now, man.
100%, man. And I definitely appreciate you coming on the podcast, bro. I know you have a lot of achievements and you've done a lot. You're a man of many skills. So I was definitely excited to get you on and you know, to have the people learn more about your story and, you know, everything that you've gone through to get up to this point.
Dude, and as are you, man. Like, we're both like creative artists in our own avenues, you know? So I'm stoked,
Definitely.
man. Yeah, let's jump right on into it, brother.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And I think me and you, we've known each other now for gotta be like, I think we were saying like around 10 years or something like that, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, let's see. We played football together in ninth grade, which was like 2010.
Yep.
And we're in 2025, dude. It's been 15 years, bro. We're going on a
Dang,
decade
man.
and a half. Let's go.
Oh, time is moving, man. It's moving.
Yeah, dude. And I have to say, man, like back then, always loved your energy, bro. Like, you were just totally just a gamer, you know, and you were all about the team getting better and just a great teammate, bro, and a great friend, you know. I was like, this guy's awesome. And then to see like where you went with your music, bro, I was always following you. I'm like, dude, because I don't know, like it's like I don't. You might think, oh, he's saying this because I know him and he's being biased, but it's like, dude, I really like your music, though. I really do.
Appreciate that, man. No, for
Yeah.
sure. And same thing, bro. Both you and your brother, you know, you guys both always had that energy, man. And when I went to Tarpon for that 1 year, bro, like, you know, I liked both of you guys just as humans, as teammates, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's funny
man.
that we still are able to reconnect, you know, this many years later.
Dude, yeah, and if you would have chose football, bro, I'm telling you, you would have made it far, dude. I already know, like, because wasn't that your first year ever playing football, or maybe you played some little league? But
Yeah.
I remember you were, dude. Yeah, I had high hopes. I was like, dude, Jesse's gonna be good, you know. And then
Appreciate
you
that,
transferred,
man.
I think was it Chamberlain?
Yep. Went back to Chamberlain after that. Yep.
I'm telling you, I got a memory, dude. I'm like an elephant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. So when I do my interviews, I always like to start at the very beginning. Your origin story. Where were you born? What was your childhood like? Family? All of that.
Oh man, I love that question, man. Well, I guess it's not obvious, but I was born and raised in Tarpon Springs. Went to Tarpon Elementary, Tarpon Middle School, Tarpon High School. So if you were to cut me open, dude, I'm bleeding maroon and white. But you know, I've transferred around different schools because of sports and stuff. You know, I've had a great family. You know, always around. My parents, they always wanted what's best for me. You know, they're always supporting me and whatever I wanted to do. I mean, I remember in middle school, you know, I was going to basketball practice, which was before school started. So it's real early. It's dark out. My mom's taking me. And I remember she looked at me and she said, you could do whatever you want to do in life, Jake. You just got to believe in yourself. And that's something that stuck with me for so long. So it's basically like, all right, I'm pointing my gun and wherever I shoot, like I know I'm going to hit the target, you know? Where do I want to shoot? You know, like that becomes the golden question, you know?
Yeah,
So-
100%, man. That's epic. So you're growing up in Tarpon. Now, is it just you and your brother, or do you have other siblings as well?
Yeah, so my older brother Zach, I call him Big Red, man, and he just had a son, and now
Hey.
I call his son Little Red because it's a little redhead kid, and he's a great addition to the Larsen clan. But I also have an oldest brother too, and he has always been in my life. Like, he was 4 when I was born, and always been there. So in certain ways, man, he's been just such a motivation to me, especially when it came to football. I mean, he was like, you know, when I was in 8th grade, he was a senior playing football, so I could always look up to him. And he actually, man, he was a hell of an athlete. Like, I went decent in my athletic career. I went kind of far, but my oldest brother, Andreas, he was a pro MMA fighter. And he was nasty. He was a heavyweight. And to this day, he still holds the fastest knockout in the heavyweight division in Florida. So
That's insane.
yeah, 4 seconds, man. I'll have to send you the video after this. It's crazy. Yeah. And and so he just like, I just always had a good, older brother to look up to. But that's my siblings. He's the oldest brother. Zach's the middle, and then I'm the youngest. Okay. So yeah, being the youngest, man, I was learning from all their mistakes,
Oh, yeah.
They blazed the path for me, No,
100%, man. That's epic. And big congrats to Zach, on the child, man. That's epic.
Yeah, dude, it's super cool. It's like his baby's so cute too, man. Like, I'm not the only one. I don't just say it because it's my nephew. Like everyone looks at this baby, they're like, wow, that's actually a really cute baby. Like, probably should be a model or something,
Right.
But
sure.
Do you have any siblings? I feel like you might have a sister or something. No?
Yeah. For me personally, I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Oh, dang. Okay, so you got 4 siblings. That's a squad right there.
Yeah, man. We got a little squad going on as well. Yes, sir. And I'm kind of like you. I'm not the youngest, but I'm the second to youngest. So I kind of had some help getting into things before it was really my time. So I saw it early.
Oh, I love it, dude. I can relate to that, bro.
Yeah.
My whole life,
sure. 100%.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, and that's epic, man. So obviously you guys grew up playing sports. Was your brother, your oldest brother, was he the first one to get into sports, or were your parents, did they play sports growing up? Were they always athletic, or how did that go?
Oh yeah, my mom's like a national champion in tennis. A lot of people don't know that about her, but she was like a junior national champion tennis player, like when she was like in her teenage years, And then my dad, he was always a good athlete. His upbringing was kind of rougher, so he didn't get to, nobody was there to guide him really. So he's just like, he's going out for the team and he's just bringing his grit, and he did really well too. But both my parents, before I was even born, they did like co-ed softball. And so growing up, I'd go in our garage and there was literally like hundreds of trophies from co-ed softball. They would just go around Florida and just smoke teams. And my dad was a real good coach. He was good at getting the best talent to come play for them. So that was always cool. But really, so they were always pushing me and my brother into sports. It was like, we obviously had the choice of what we wanted to do, but they were heavily pushing it. Oh, you don't want to play a sport? Well, you're going to have to get a job and start making money. Oh, you don't want to do that? All right, well, to play a sport,
Right.
Go to school, higher education, all that. But when it comes to where I would draw my motivation from, definitely my oldest brother, the one that was an MMA fighter, because he was always extremely just naturally good at sports. Right. He played Little League football for the Hudson Bulldogs, and I'd go out there and watch him, and his team would be horrible. I'm not even going to lie. They lost every game, but they had a couple of plays. It was just yo, give Drew the ball. So they toss it to Andreas. I call him Drew. Andreas Drew. And man, he'd hit the outside, and it was you could see his natural talent. And then coming up in sports, man, he's a legend at Tarpon High. He was, just a great football player that I always looked up to. And then, of course, my brother too. It was almost I always had a good practice partner, with whatever it may be, wrestling, football, weightlifting. We're doing it all together, So I think the combination of all that, being pushed by my parents to do well in sports and believe in myself, and then also competing with my brothers, and then kind of just having fun in the process,
Yeah, no, 100%, man. That's epic. So what was the very first sport that you remember playing as a kid?
Oh man. So when I was let's see, I think I was 6 years old, they put me in flag football. And I was the quarterback, dude. And I'm telling you right now, bro, I was elite. I should have stayed with quarterback, bro. I should have stuck with that position.
Nice.
I remember just scoring so many touchdowns as a kid. And I think it was a little bit of a cheat code because my dad, he'd toss the pigskin with me all the time as a kid, He'd wrestle with me too. I think that's where I got a lot of my wrestling from, was just me and him would just go at it. I'd be climbing up on the bedpost doing flying drop kicks. Like I was kind of like, they knew I was kind of a nut, like I was kind of crazy. So they're like, we got to channel him into something, you know? And but flag football was the first thing. And then that kind of developed into padded football. And that's where I got jacked up a few times, man, by guys who were smaller than me. I was like, man, I thought I was good. And then you get humbled out there, you know, you get the wind knocked out of you by some kid from Dunedin. And I'll never forget that, man. Like not first game, but really, really early on. I'm thinking I'm good, you know. All right, let's go out here and beat Dunedin. This kid comes running down the field. He's smaller than me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to smoke him. He hit me right in my breadbasket, dude. Oof. Got the wind knocked out of me. He was on kickoff team, you know, so I'm trying to block him and he just boom hits me. And I'm like teary-eyed. I'm like, damn, that really hurt, you know? Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna get him next time though. So I'm all hyped up. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get him this time. You know, second kickoff happens. He runs down the field, bro, knocks the wind out of me again, dude. Oh my 2 times in a row. So that was like, all right, like football, like did a lot for me, you know, at a young age. It showed me like, all right, like you got to be humble and just work hard and get better, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I think anybody who's played tackle football as a kid or, you know, just in any aspect, like you understand that you got to respect people and you do get humbled because, man, tackle football, bro, it's a dangerous sport. You know what I mean? It really is. And even for me, like, you know, I had, you know, growing up, because I played football. I actually played football for a good amount of years growing up, like, you know, in my early, even before high school and stuff. And I think I ended up having like migraine headaches because of it. You know what I'm saying? Or, like that contributed to it, you know, a little bit later. So like I would never trade my football days because of like what it taught me and what it gave me and like that confidence and that like fucking tenacity. But at the same time, like I do also understand that if I had a kid, I don't necessarily know that like tackle football is going to be the first thing. I think the combat sport is probably more so what they're going to be going into.
Wow, dude, I love your perspective on it. Even me being like a huge proponent of football, you know, because you put him in a combat sport, right? That's going to prepare him for the football field, which you want your kid to be prepared, man. Like you really could go out there and just like get nailed, you know, and just be in like a different dimension. I mean, CTE's real, bro. Their studies are coming out, you know? Yeah. I mean, I joke around. I say, you know, I think I got a little CTE. I'm just holding it together, you know?
Right.
No, but I actually, I can get behind that, man. I think combat sports are the way to go. Like now with like jiu-jitsu becoming such a big thing, like I'm a huge proponent of like parents putting their kids in wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I mean, it just develops so many life skills as well, you know?
100%, man. And obviously, you know, and we're going to hear all about your story, you know, with the combat sports and all that. And especially like with your brother. And I know even Zach, you know, I saw some stuff with him doing some jits. And I mean, honestly, bro, I think it's like invaluable, you know, skills, life skills, because obviously, you know, there's the workout, there's the team chemistry, there's all that, there's the mental aspect, but there's also defending yourself if you're in that situation.
Right, man. It's you know, it's basically just it's a matter of knowledge, right? Like, okay, this guy that I'm going up against, or if I'm a girl, this girl I'm going up against, either or, right? They don't have the knowledge that I do. Therefore, I'm going to excel in the situation. And that's what combat sports is, you know? Who can get to that level of like, or to that position of dominance first? Who has that, you know, oh, they threw this at me. Well, I know the counter. They don't know the counter to my counter. So it's like, it's so much more of a chess match than people think. It looks really like physical because it is and aggressive, but it's so much like a strategic chess match in there, you know? And, you know, speaking of wrestling too, I mean, I'm not going to release this news yet, but let's just say this. Tarpon Wrestling is coming back, dude. And it's going to be a powerhouse. And I can't release the news yet because it's unofficial, but let's just leave it at that. Tarpon Wrestling's about to be something real serious.
Hey, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm excited to see what happens there, man, for sure.
Oh, yeah. That's what's cooking in the oven right now. So
I like it, man. I like it. Mm-hmm. So let me ask this. So for you, did you start wrestling in high school?
Yes. Uh, I had some buddies in South Florida that were the sons of my dad's friend. Um, and they were super good at wrestling, and I'd go watch them sometimes and go to their tournaments. But I was kind of like, I think I was kind of just intimidated by it all. I was like 10, and I'm looking around the whistles and the mats, and I don't know, I never really got the extra push to go into wrestling. But when I was in ninth grade, my football coach, you remember him, Coach Schmitz.
Hmm.
Yeah, you probably remember
I
Schmitz.
remember Schmidt.
So
Yep.
old Schmitty, he tells me, he's like, hey man, I don't want you to be a couch potato all summer, so you're gonna go wrestle. And I'm like, Coach, like, you really think I want to get in a singlet and like in spandex and like rub up against a bunch of other dudes? I'm like, I ain't doing that. And he's like, well, you're gonna pick something and do it. And I'm like, let's give it a shot. So ninth grade, I give it a shot. I go to this like off-season tournament, not the official regular season or nothing, but it was like summertime. And I went up against this kid from Largo. They called him Medicine Man. And he was like a senior at the time, and I was a freshman. And dude, this kid picked me up and slammed me 20 times, bro.
Oh my gosh.
And like it was a tech fault is what they call it. And that's basically just when like the opponent gets so high up on points, he's beating you by like 15 points that they're like, we got to end the match. It's like mercy rule. It's like mercy rule for wrestling. So
Okay.
that happened to me. And then I was presented with a choice. I was like, all right, well, I could give up right here and be a quitter, or I can get super good at this sport and try to be the best, that I could possibly be. And I chose option B, and went with it. I was like, this is cool, man. It was just perfect timing for me. The adrenaline, the whole stadium environment, being in the gym with everyone watching, I just loved it, so I went for it.
Nice, man. That's epic. So then
Yeah.
you start wrestling, and you end up wrestling all through high school, right?
Yep. Go all
Nice.
through high school. Let's see, my freshman year I went 9-1, and they were like, all right, I think this kid's got something, It was like in Tarpon, they're like, he beat the senior out for the starting position, and that was crazy too. I mean, I felt bad because this kid had like a couple months left of his senior year, and I beat him in the wrestle off. So I took his weight class, and he was pissed at me. He didn't talk to me in school for a week, and it was kind of awkward. But it was like, this is the sport, this is what we're doing. And so from there, continued playing football, and then when you left, it kind of got to a point where I was like, man, the football coach isn't starting me. He's not putting me on the field. And I just got tired of watching everybody else play. So I had to make a decision. Do I just wrestle here at Tarpon, or do I go to a different high school and play football and wrestle? And so that's what I did, and went to a different high school. And I was blessed because I just got this amazing coach. And he really broke down the sport of wrestling for me, over the course of the next 3 years. And a lot of my skills and knowledge came like directly from him,
Wow.
But then like, so that was great. I did decent, became like a district champion, got my name up in the gym at Countryside, in the gym lobby, and like, it was pretty cool. And then I go on to Florida State. And now this is where it got real interesting, was collegiate wrestling, because when I was up there, it was like Florida State, like they were still building up the program. So there wasn't really like much funding. I had to buy my own singlet. I had to pay $70 and buy my own singlet, and we conjoined practices with FAMU, which was awesome because the FAMU cats, like they were just so down to wrestle, straight athletes, bro. And like, so I'm training with them. And the coaches were like, their whole motto was like, hey, we're going to learn how to inflict pain, and we're going to win our matches like that. So they were just like really crazy, like the way that their technical, like their mindset was, and like the moves that they showed were exactly that. So I became much more of like an aggressive wrestler on the technical side. And they would always tell me, they're like, Jake, you win when you make it ugly. Go out there and make it as ugly as possible. You know what I mean? Like, just start throwing
dogs.
Yeah, they're like, just start throwing stuff at them, man. Like, and there were certain lessons that I learned. Like, another big thing that they were big on was like cardio. They were like, it's okay if you give it your all and you just fall short. But they're like, we can't lose because we got tired. So I won so many matches in college just because I was the one that wasn't getting tired and the other guy would, or at least I wasn't showing it, right? I could be tired. I could be, oh man, hands on my knees trying to get air in my lungs, or I could be tired and just standing there and it's almost like a bluff. Like, yeah, I'm just as tired as you, but I'm going to project an image that shows that I'm not tired at all, dude. I'll go another 3-4 rounds, Yeah. So I'm super blessed to have those coaches, man. And they coached me up so well. And then all the teammates I had up there. And then it was I think it was 2018. There was this tournament called the Florida Open, and it's just all the Florida schools. You got UCF, UF, Miami, FGCU, Florida Gulf Coast, and then I think there was even a couple other. Oh, UNF, University of North Florida. So these schools are there, and I won that tournament, and that was like my favorite moment of the whole collegiate wrestling career, because it was like. Nice. It was like all the work I'd been putting in and finally paid off. And I'm like, all right, I'm getting somewhere here, And, but then when I went to nationals, cause I made it to nationals twice, I got smoked out there. I can't even lie. I'm going up against these Pennsylvania, it's like Penn State. They're the #1 wrestling school in the country. And I'm going up against their 4-stringers and they're still smoking me, man. And I'll admit it, they were just really good and they were training more than me too. So that's how it goes,
Yeah, no, 100%, man, and that's epic. Let me ask you this: like, what was it like trying to balance being an athlete in college, but also the actual like schooling part of it? The educational part of it.
Dude, that is such a good question, bro. I can't lie. That was a solid question right there, because that was like a task within itself. Okay, when you're going to Florida State University and you're a Seminole. And you're at like not only one of the top 25 universities in the nation, but like you're at like the #1 party school in the nation. And you got to go to work, you got wrestling practice, you got to stay up on school. That was crazy, dude, because there's something to do every single night up there in Tallahassee. I mean, there was a bar out there called AJ's, and they would do this thing called Flippin' Tuesdays. So you go in and you go into the bar, you buy whatever drink you like, right? All right, just give me let's just say, for instance, give me a Corona. Okay, they put a Corona on the bar. You drink the Corona, but as you're drinking it, you flip a coin. And if you call let's say it's heads when it lands and you called heads, they give you another Corona. And so people are buying shots. They're like, I want a shot of Patron. And then they're flipping the coin and they're landing it 3 or 4 times. They're getting 4 free shots and they're just taking them down. Oh, and I mean, God. Dude, it was like imagine a whole bar, like parking lot club area, just absolutely packed with kids. Florida State students and all their friends coming up to visit. And it was just like, they had to shut it down. It got so crazy, Right. But so, yeah, that was a battle, man. Like, trying to, stay focused, because I was also a lifeguard up there. So I had a job. I had to make sure that my school was on point, because my whole life I've never really been the school type, man. I've just like tried to, turn in my stuff on time and do my best. But like I've struggled with school, like I was by no means the smartest kid in the classroom, So I had to, put in extra hours for studying for my exams, making sure I wasn't missing deadlines, and also just learning the college like atmosphere. It's so much different, In high school, every kid that's next to you, you can hit them up. Yo, what was the homework yesterday? Or yo, can I ask you about this? Or, you can talk to your teacher every day. In college, it's just like, there's like a whole curriculum. They're like, here, follow the curriculum. If you can't figure it out, you're just going to get washed, Thanks for your money. See ya. And so I was like, all right, I got to figure this out. And, eventually I did. Eventually I learned you don't have to pay for your books. You can just get them online for like a fraction of the cost, First semester I paid about $600 for books, when I realized, dang, I could have got them for $40. And on top of that, we didn't even open the book the whole semester. So I'm like, what am I doing here? So it's just learning that whole game of the schooling side. And then also just going towards my wrestling dreams, which is the whole reason I was up there, man. I mean, I tell people all the time, I majored in wrestling. If it wasn't for that sport, dude, I would have dipped out of college so fast and just put my nose to the grindstone and started doing something construction wise, you know?
And yeah, we're definitely going to get to your construction and and all of that 100%. I did want to ask you though. So
Yeah.
what were you going there for, like for the degree?
Dude, so a lot of people don't know this about me because, like, right behind the screen, I'm looking at it. I got a bachelor's degree in political science, right?
Oh, nice, man.
And I minored in criminology too, those two subjects ended up being pretty interesting and I liked them. But I really wanted to go and be a film director. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Wow.
And so, but the problem is my GPA was low. And they're like, yeah, you're going to have to take a whole nother year of courses in order to get your GPA up to even be in the running to get accepted into our film school. And I was like, man, so you're telling me I got to pay you guys a bunch more money, spend another year in college just to get my GPA up to maybe have an opportunity in the film school? I'm like, I'm just going to, it kind of stripped me away of my dreams a little bit in the moment, but now I'm like, hey man, you can do whatever you want, like that's what I would tell young people too, is like, don't let like someone else like determine what your destination is going to be. We could create whatever we want to create, we can do whatever we want to do. It's like, we're human beings, we all get the same 24, we all put our pant legs on one leg at a time like everybody else, so just reminding myself of that. Ended up getting the political science degree, and it was really, dude, like originally it was just to stay away from mathematics. Like I didn't want to take trigonometry, you know what I mean? I was like, but I was a really good writer, so kind of went down the political science route because it was, the bulk of the classes were writing, and I ended up loving it, man. It opened up my mind to the whole political world, so yeah. Before that, I didn't even think about it,
Right. No, 100%, man. That's dope. So let me ask this: whether in wrestling in college or whether in just studies, did you ever have a time where you wanted to quit? And if so, what made you get through?
Oh my gosh, dude, you got some great questions. Oh my gosh, man. So there was a time when I wanted to quit, and it was, I actually had a lot going on during the time, and I don't really tell too many people about this. Like the people who are, really close to me know about it, but shoot, might as well spit it out since you asked. It's like, I had this, I don't know, it was basically some condition where I lost like my hearing. So I was, I had about 10% of my hearing and I had to wear hearing aids. But for a while I didn't even know. Like, I couldn't hear my professors talking. I could just hear the person that was right next to me barely. And I didn't really know what was going on. So I get my hearing checked. And turns out, yeah, I lost a bunch of my hearing. And it's all back now because I got these surgeries called stapedectomies. But during that time frame, my grades dropped. I was kind of like isolating myself because I couldn't really talk to anybody, and because I couldn't hear what they were saying. You know what I mean? People would be like, Jake, like yelling at me to get my attention. I'm like, oh, my bad, dude. I couldn't even, And so I got a letter saying, hey, you're going to be academically dismissed. And I was shocked, dude. I was like, man, I've been putting in so much work into this. At this point, I'm like 4 years into college and I'm about to graduate, but I just, was falling short. And, wasn't even thinking about it in the moment, but I had a situation, I had lost my hearing. So I went back and I tried to, explain to them like, hey, here's my hearing test from my doctors. I literally haven't been able to hear my professors speak, and they got me academically reinstated and they said, all right, we're going to let you retake these classes. So I went nose to the grindstone, bro. And I got out of there by the grace of God, dude, and my hard work too. And so, but I remember sitting alone in my car, dude, at the top level of this parking lot, this parking garage, on FSU's campus, and I'm just in my car, and I am just giving that 1,000-mile stare out the windshield, bro, like looking at the campus, and I'm like, there ain't no way that I'm about to flunk out of here after all this work I put in. This is crazy, and I know I'm not like, like I'm highly capable, so. But I totally, in that moment, I'm like, damn, like I'm shot. This is it. Gotta call back home and let them know I failed. I failed. I'm a failure. And my mom really told me, she's like, you know what? She's like, no, you got this. We're gonna get you checked out. We're gonna see what's going on with your hearing. We're gonna figure this out. So she really kind of, I feel like everyone in their life, not everyone, but most people have at least one or two special people that lift them up when they're down. And dude, that's my mom, best friend right there. She kind of reinstilled that confidence, like, you got this, and then it worked out. But I'll tell you what, man, I was low, man. I was low. I couldn't hear nothing. I'm going on these runs and I'm just like in my thoughts. It was crazy,
I can imagine, bro, that would have definitely been scary, and any lesser person, bro, could have easily given up. So that's definitely a testament to your character and who you are. The fact that you didn't allow that to break you, and that you had somebody there who was able to pick you up when you were in that dark moment, dust yourself off, and get it done, bro. So that's
Bro,
awesome, man.
yeah, and I really think that everyone needs to have somebody like that in their life. And if you don't, just be that person for somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And it'll, like, I feel like everything's karmatically connected. It's like if you're gonna help somebody when they're down, don't worry. Like God, the universe, whatever this world might be, like somebody's gonna come and help you. It's just the way that it's all karmatically connected.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 100%,
yeah.
man.
That was a great question, though, dude.
Oh, appreciate it, man. And just to piggyback off that a little bit, bro, like, how important do you think self-talk is?
Oh my gosh, dude, it's everything. It's everything, man. Self-talk is like I feel like when we wake up in the morning, right? We all have like this mental battle going on. Like, oh man, life. Like how's today gonna go, And we kind of let our thoughts just drift. But if you wake up and you're just like having that positive self-talk, you're like, yeah, man, like I got this. I'm gonna attack these goals. I'm gonna shoot for this today. And also just like when things are going bad too, just like reminding yourself like, hey, you know, one day at a time, like one moment at a time, one day at a time, I'm gonna climb out of this and just turn every negative thing into a positive somehow,
Yeah.
And I think that self-talk is everything. I think that maybe there's like forces going against us even that we don't even know, like we can't even see them, but they're there trying to like infiltrate us, and self-talk is really the only way to kind of bust out of that,
Yeah.
and do well, you know.
Yeah, 100%, man. Couldn't agree more. I think
Dude,
it's
I
so
just did a little
important.
self-talk talking to you. I was like, my shades are fogging up. I'm gonna pop those off as we're talking, dude. Self-talk is
No,
everything.
it really is, man. It really is. No, I love
Mhm.
that. I love that. So, kind of shifting gears a little bit here. So, kind of talking a little bit about construction, right?
Yeah.
So for you, how did you kind of get into the construction industry?
Dude, so the construction industry is just full of savages, right? Blue collar guys. And the way I got into it was my father. Like I am either the fifth or the sixth generation carpenter in the Larsen family.
Wow.
So yeah, my family lineage goes all the way back to Denmark. And I'm Danish, and my mom's Irish, my dad's Danish, and my dad's Danish side, they were great builders. So his dad was a builder. His dad was a builder. His dad was a builder. It was just
What?
builder, 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 builder. And they always thought I was gonna do something different because I was always doing different things. But once I got a little taste of construction, I was like, oh, let me just try this out while I'm trying to figure out what I really want to do. And sure enough, I fell in love with it, man. It's just something about building something and then looking back at it and being like, wow, I did that, or I played a role in that,
Yeah.
And so I think that, I've always been an artist in certain ways, but that was just another avenue for me to explore my art, you know?
Yeah. I love
And
that, man.
yeah, and it totally demanded like my everything. You know, it's like when that summer heat's kicking on you, and maybe there's other guys who you know they got something going on. They're bringing some negativity into the circle. It's like we just got to keep lifting each other up and going. And it's kind of like it was a similar dynamic to being on a sports team with a bunch of other guys. You know, it's like we all got to like raise to the top and raise each other up. And I know there's women in construction too, but it's few and far between.
Right.
I see these. I will say this though: there's a lot of Mexican women that are doing construction. I see them on the roofs. I see them out in working on the job sites, and I'm just like, dang, like we can't bitch, guys. These Mexican women are getting it done. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's hot out here, man. But I got so much respect for the Mexican community, for real.
No,
Yeah.
100%, man. So I was able to go and check out your guys', online site and see some of the things on Instagram, which was super crazy, super dope. So let me ask, how do like kitchen and bathroom renovations differ from other types of remodeling in the home?
Okay, so it can be complicated, Like if we're talking new construction, you'll see a neighborhood go up in a finger snap. You see these apartment complexes going up in an absolute finger snap. You're driving to work one day, it's a big open field with some, a concrete slab and some pipes sticking out. And then you drive down the next week and you're like, oh, that's a building. Like they're damn near finished. And then all of a sudden people are moved in and you're just like, whoa, that went up quick, Now that like new construction, it can move super quick. The different processes and the different like levels of construction and the order of importance that it goes through, it can happen really fast because there's nobody slowing it up. When you're doing like an interior remodel, you have to kind of factor in, okay, well, this person I'm working for, they might like and want some white cabinets or some gray cabinets, but then those gray cabinets come in and they're like, oh man, I don't like the way they look. Like, is there any way that we could, maybe like switch this up a little bit? So it's a lot of like on the fly, like helping the customer, like, and making their visions come to life, which in turn can slow the process down. And then I think that where a lot of like how you could separate yourself from being like a great construction company and just a mediocre one is the finish stuff, right? The things that the customer's going to see at the end. So, if there's like, if let's say, there's some baseboard on the ground, going along the perimeter of the room, but we skipped that last step of putting the putty in the holes and making it look smooth and clean. That's all they're going to talk about, It's like you could be the Michael Jordan of construction, right? But just like how if Michael Jordan, like if he got the ball taken from him, everyone's talking about it. Oh, that guy took the ball from MJ, It's like they'll do the same thing in construction. They'll be like, they'll always talk about that one time you messed up. So I think like quality and perfection over like quantity and getting a bunch of jobs done is probably the best way to go, and that's where it differentiates a lot. So
Yeah, for sure, man. I can imagine that it is like probably a very, very small margin for error.
oh my gosh, yeah. And a lot of like working backwards too, and it's I guess it's just like anything else, you want to perfect it, but it really is a lot of working backwards. Like I'll just give you a quick example, right? So I'm doing one of my first floors. I do a whole living room and I am pumped. I'm like, man, this floor looks fire. Like I just did this whole living room in like one day. I'm like, I'm killing it right now. I'm high off life. I'm like, dude, I could do this. Pops walks in, right? He steps on a piece of flooring way back where I started. And he's like, hey man, there's a pebble under this piece of wood flooring here. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, well, maybe we could just like smack it down. He's like, no, that's not how it goes. He's like, I need you to pop all this flooring up and get that pebble out and then put it all back. And dude, I was like, dude, I was destroyed. I was like, that's crazy. Like I was pumped 5 minutes ago, and now I'm destroyed.
Right.
But that's just how I learned. And I think those small little details are everything, you know?
Yeah.
The guy who's going to take the extra step and have a little more pride in what he's doing and keep his eye out for certain things that could go wrong as he's going. You know, ever since then, dude, I'll do 3-4 rows. I'm walking back over him. All right, I'm good. 3-4 what? Walking back over it. You know what I mean? Just double checking. You know?
Yeah.
Because and that's the difference right there.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 100%, man. Couldn't agree more. And dude, I can just imagine, bro, being in that position, man, with that one pebble. You're just like, no.
Dude,
So
I'm like,
that's
is there
wild,
any
man.
way that we could just like crush this thing, or just like how do we like get out of this right now without me having to lift up every single plank, not miss the order that it's already in, and then put it all back down? I was like, there's no way. But then that's just one thing, you know?
Right. Your dad's thinking to himself, damn millennials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro, he
man.
was thinking that.
Yeah.
Damn kids, you know, they're just giving themselves a pat on the back, you know? Like,
Yeah, dude.
what is
Because
this?
I would have been right there with you. I'd be like, nah, we could get it. We could just get a couple steps
dude.
on it.
Trust me,
Nah.
bro. I was like defeated, bro, but I did it.
Yeah.
And then and that's how I learned, you know. And I look back on it, like obviously I was pissed off in the moment, but I look back on it and I'm like super grateful for that experience,
For sure.
because it just showed me it's like, yeah, take the extra mile, whether no matter how bad it's gonna suck, and you don't get that call, you know, 2 months down the road from the homeowner, and they're like, hey, this is, you know, not gonna work with us, you know. And then it just trickles down, and you know how it is too, like if you put your name on something, you know, like we got our name in the company name. If we were like Bayside or, you know, Tampa Bay Construction or something, maybe you can get away with a little bit of that. But when your name's in it, it's like it spreads like wildfire, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I'm definitely with you that it's like you want to do what you do to the best of your ability and make sure that everybody is, you know, happy with what you do. So I'm really with you there, but
Exactly, man.
that's awesome, man.
No matter how bad it sucks.
Yeah. I feel that, dude. I feel that. All right, so moving into the podcast, and
dude.
this is what I really, you know, wanted to. Obviously, you got a great story, man, and just learning about all this is definitely blowing my mind. It's very inspiring.
Dude, thank you for the like golden questions you're throwing out too, bro. Like you're great at this.
Appreciate it, man. No doubt. So, what inspired you to start a podcast?
Dude, I'll be real with you, bro. It was like such a spur of the moment thing. I don't even know why I did it. I was just like, you know, let's just click record and see what happens. Like, let's put ourselves out there a little bit, you know? And, you know, I guess I could say just listening to past podcasts, you know? Like, I hate to say this, but it's kind of true, man. I learned more from the Joe Rogan podcast than I think I did in my whole, like, 5 years in college. And that's not even an exaggeration. I mean, I'm learning about, you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's talking about outer space, and I'm just like balls deep in it, just listening like, dude, I never learned about this in college. You know, just UFC fighters coming on and talking about mental toughness and like how to like succeed and like overcome obstacles and adapt in life. I mean, I could go down the wormhole. Psychologists getting on there and telling you about how the brain works, dude. Nutritionists. I'm like, dude, I'm learning more on these podcasts so I realized quickly, I'm like, dude, podcast university is like a lot for me. And, you know, like going through college, it's like, you know, there's a lot of times when you're solo. You know, you're going to your class, you're going to work, you're going to go to the gym or go on a run, or you got some free time, you know? So I just flick on a podcast and it was like, I didn't have to talk to anybody, but here I am in a conversation with 3 other people. Like whoever's watching this, they're going to feel like they're right here listening to it because they are technically, you know? And so that like whole dynamic like hyped me up. I was like, dude, this is sick. Like podcasting is actually really cool. And I never really thought that I would jump into this and like it so much, but I just like it. And I don't know, I just kind of do things that I like to do. And I started it out. It was, you know, the production quality was like below zero. It was horrible. But the stories were cool. Like people were coming up to me. They're like, dude, you might need a new camera and maybe a different microphone. But I really enjoyed what you were talking about. And that was motivational to me. I'm like, dude, I got people coming up to me that I hardly ever talked to before. They have no reason to gas me up, and they're saying that they're enjoying the show. I'm like, I gotta keep it going. So I kind of up the quality, up the, trying my best to, fit in time to do the podcast, because obviously we're humans. We got to make money and pay our bills too, and we do it for fun, and like it's a passion. But I will say this, it might have been written in stone, because back in the high school days, not when we were at Tarpon, but as I went to a different high school, Countryside, and then I came back to Tarpon. But when I was at Countryside, I joined the video production class, and it was called UPC TV, and I was like a news anchor for the school. So I was already used to being on camera, obviously making like me and my buddies when we were kids, we made this video called the Dipshits, and it was basically like our version of the Jackass, and we're just like jumping out of trees and throwing oranges at each other and bombing hills on skateboards with like newspaper bins attached to it. Like we just went nuts, and so like not being afraid to be on camera, and then doing that news anchor stuff, and then fast forward like 10 years, I'm like, I'm kind of missing the camera, man. And that's kind of where our universe is going, especially here in America, and really the whole world. It's like we're going towards a technological life. And so I think we got to just take advantage of these awesome tools, man. Like who would have, like, maybe like if you and me were born like, let's say 50 years ago or something, or maybe even less, like we wouldn't have the ability to do this, right? So maybe we just never would have stayed connected. If we didn't have Facebook, so I could see, dang, Don Drago's killing it right now with his music, and just staying in touch and just motivating each other, and then eventually getting on a pod. It's like technology is kind of bringing us together more than it ever has in the history of mankind.
For sure, man. Couldn't agree more. 100%. So how did you end up landing your first few guests when you got started up?
Okay, so that is something I was worried about, right? I was like, man, like if I go in on this, I better make sure I got some people that want to talk to me and do it with me. And so obviously I went right to my brother, I'm like, he was episode number 1. So nice. Big Red comes on the show. He's like, dude, I'll do anything with you, man. Like, let's do it. This is what you want to do. Like, I got you. Let's go. So it was like shortly before his 30th birthday, and we just had a great time. We like talked for 30 minutes, like talking about old stories and stuff. And then like as soon as that episode dropped, I had multiple people hitting me up, dude. And I was just so stoked. I'm like, no way, like people actually want to hop on and do a pod and like have a conversation. Cause I know it can be a lot. Like you're getting in front of a camera, you know that everyone's going to listen to it. It's like, oh man, like there's like a little bit of a mental hurdle to get over there. But I was just stoked to see how many people like actually want to get on and be on the show. At first I was worried. Then I was like, oh dude, like I got probably 5 or 6 people that are, lined up right now that are like, yo, when are we doing this? Come on. And they're waiting on me at this point, so.
Yeah, man. 100%. What impact do you hope that your podcast gives to your audience, like long term?
So, so in the beginning, I was doing it just to kind of like be funny and like get out there and make people laugh, and just like, honestly, just kind of connect with people that I haven't seen in a long time, and just show them like, hey, this is me, like I haven't seen you in forever, but this is my life, this is what I'm doing. This is what I look like, now. And now though, like after doing a few episodes, I realized how much, power of the tongue comes with that, and I was like, man, I need to, I got little cousins, I got little nephews, I'm like, they're looking up to me. I'm like, they're going to be watching these, so I'm like, I need to make sure that I'm putting out, some content that they would benefit from, and not just like jokingly. And I was like, yeah, I got to joke and be funny, but I got to be serious too, and now my whole niche is just like, I just want to motivate the youth. I remember, when we were young, man, it's like, we're almost just like craving a leader or an idol or somebody to guide us through, so many bad paths we could take, and not that many people who were like putting their time into us. Right. So like I always looked up to the people who did put their time into us as kids, like any coach I had, any older person that took me under his wing, or her wing. And I just like I realized I'm like, man, with all this, reach we could get, I want to motivate people. I just want to motivate the youth and instill confidence in them and show them that like because they're gonna be battling things that we don't even know about, right? Like growing up with a smartphone, the dynamics that the social media might have negatively on the brain and stuff that we haven't even studied. You know what I mean? It's like when cigarettes came out, everyone's smoking them, but eventually they're like, oh damn, these cause cancer, what are we doing? It's kind of like the same thing with phones. We don't really know what it could do to a young person. So just giving the youth like a roadmap of like, hey, like you could be who you want, man. Like you get to create your life, obviously take care of your family, do what you got to do to be a contributor to your fam. But outside of that, man, like chase your dreams, like be whoever you want to be, and so that's really where I'm going with it, and I love where you're going with it too, bro. I really do, because I've been watching, the past guests, and I'm like, God, these are cool people, man. Like that I've never seen before, but they're hustlers and they're getting after it. And that's why the Hustle Coast name and the brand, it's just, I love it, dude. I'm like, I love where you're going with it too, man.
No, appreciate that, bro. 100%. And yeah, man, real recognize real, bro. Two hustlers can respect what each other is doing, man. Because I seen your stuff, and I saw that you've also had some really good guests. When you brought the mayor of Tarpon on your podcast, man, that was huge.
Dude, yeah, having the mayor on the show was amazing. He It was so cool, bro, because going back to what we were just talking about, like I was worried if I wasn't going to have enough people that would want to come on the show. And then, I'm out in the city one day and the mayor hollers from across the street and he's like, hey, Jake, what's up, man? And I'm like, oh, damn, he knows my name. I'm like, what's up, mayor? Like, how you doing? And he's like, hey, man, I love the podcast. I want to get on it. And dude,
Hey.
this was back when the production sucked. And I'm like, no way. Like it motivated me, made me feel good. I didn't let it go to my head. I was like, okay, this is an opportunity to make it better and just use this motivation to increase the production and increase the quality of things, And then like we get into it and we start talking on the show and I am just blown away by this guy's life. It's like, there were some things that happened, prior to the podcast, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago that I saw out in public and I got to see like his true character as a man. And I always had respect for him. But then he came on the show and I was like, this dude's really cool, man. He opened up way more than I thought he was going to about his life. He talked about his family, his brother, who, was basically really was a mastermind. He was a mastermind, and kind of just like how he wasn't the mayor, he wasn't getting a fair shake. They were kind of treating him like he was somebody he wasn't, and he was able to, open up about his whole life. And it was just cool, really cool to talk to him. I didn't think it was going to be that interesting. I mean, I knew it was going to be interesting, but it blew away my expectations. That's what I should say,
100%, man. That's super epic, dude. Super epic. And big congrats on that, man. 100%.
Thank you, man. And that's what's so cool about the reach, right? It's like, who knows, man? Like, there's no telling who. Like, let's talk a year from now, bro. Like, I'm telling you, let's talk a year from now. It's going to be insane, especially with the way that your dynamic is. You're like, I could pump out 2 or 3, in a week and save them up. And you know what I mean? It's like, I think it's amazing, bro. Like, honestly, I'm all on board for it. And not only that, bro, but your music, bro. Like, we got to talk about your music. I don't know if you remember, bro. I've been liking your stuff forever, dude. Like,
definitely.
Like, there was a song, actually, that you had put out on, I think it was on, like, Instagram or something. I can't find it now. But it was so sick. And I would listen to it before my wrestling matches, bro. And it would hype me up. I'm not even going to lie. I'm like, this is my homeboy from back home. Like, we're going.
Oh, and, that's dope, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to... I don't know where I put my phone, but it's right here. Dude, Let me just see if I can look it up as we're talking, and I'll play it. Because then you could tell me the name of it. Maybe I can find the actual song, you know?
So if it's the song that I'm thinking of, I don't think I ever actually put it out. I think I just kind of put that clip online, and I don't think I ever released that song. Probably something to do with the licensing. But I think I know what song you're talking about, and I would be happy to let you know about that offline here, 100%.
Hell yeah, man. And so is it, I probably shouldn't play it then.
Probably.
Okay. Okay.
But I think I know what you're talking about, man. But overall, dog, no, I definitely appreciate the support. I 100% always do. And we'll definitely talk about that off camera. But let me ask you this real quick though. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So how do you define success?
Oh my gosh, man, that's a solid question. How do I define success? You know, I'll be honest with you. I define success when like you've aligned yourself with your purpose and you can make money to have shelter, feed your family, maybe go around the world and do fun things with the people you love. And not only that, but you're providing that kind of life for yourself and your family and your friends, but it's doing something that you have an absolute passion for, right? So once you've aligned yourself with your purpose, you can take care of your friends and fam, and you're doing what you're passionate about every day. And I'll even say this too, like you're working for the people you want to work for. I think that's success, man. And I'll even add something on top. There's a movie called The Gambler. I think that's the name of it. It's with Mark Wahlberg. And
that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good movie. And in the movie, there's this dude at the poker table, and he tells Mark, he's like, you got to be in the fuck you position. You know, somebody could mess with you, and you could say fuck you and walk away because you got more money than them. And I'm like, damn. So if you, I mean, I hate to say it like that because I know money's not everything, but it kind of comes down to those things, you know, a plethora of that. You align yourself with your purpose. You can take care of your friends and your family. You can go around the world and see beautiful places, do fun things. And on top of that, you're doing what you love every day. I don't really see, I mean, this life's short, man. If you're doing that with your days, you're golden, right? Because there's so many worse things you could be doing. So it's like, that's success in my eyes. And I low key think that's what I'm chasing every day, you know, not quite there yet, but I'm gonna get there, man. We're gonna get there.
Oh yeah. 100%, man. And last thing on this, what do you want your legacy to be?
Man, damn, these are great questions, bro. You're giving out some great questions. So what do I want my legacy to be, man? I just want people to, like whenever I die, I want people to think of me and be like, that guy like made me feel better about myself. That guy affected me in a positive way. Like that guy, like, he cared about people, he loved like with his heart fully, like didn't hold anything back. Like that guy gave people their flowers while they were still here, like that's the kind of person that I want to be remembered as. And like, as far as legacy, like, yeah, it'd be great for people to be talking about me hundreds and hundreds of years and now, like some of these great warriors, that you hear about, Alexander the Great, those guys, that's all cool too. But I think, in reality, I want my legacy to just be, people remembering me in a positive light, and thinking, man, like, I really like that guy. Like, we lost a good one. That's all I want,
Yeah. 100%, man. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
All right, bro. So as we're kind of coming to the end here, these next questions are just like fun questions. So it's just like for people to get to know you a little bit. Mm-hmm. So do you have any hidden talents?
Dude, I actually do have a hidden talent, bro. And, given these circumstances, I can actually do it right now on camera, live for everyone to see.
Oh,
so, and it kind of, it aligns with you a little bit too, bro. I'm not going to lie. Cause you've been hitting them lyrics on those beats. So I have the ability to make beats with my hands, so real quick, I'm just going to. That's it right there, bro. That's my hidden talent, bro.
That was lit.
That's my hidden talent, bro.
Bro, that was a great hidden talent.
It's not I was about to start spitting. That's cool. Dude, oh, bro, damn, bro. Yeah, you were probably about to just let it rip, dude.
Oh man,
I should have kept it going for a little bit.
No, that was sick, man. That was sick. All right. So next one, what is your favorite movie or TV show?
Oh man, dang, that's a really good one. So it it comes down to the. Well, I'll say this, like I think I got some sort of form of ADHD because I can't really sit and watch things for too long. So like as far as TV shows, like I got into Sons of Anarchy. That was a pretty crazy show, like a biker gang, brotherhood, loyalty, like making money, like gang life. That was kind of crazy and like it grabbed my attention quickly. As far as movies, man. Remember the Titans is a good one, bro. I'm not gonna lie,
That's a
that one's
great
like
movie, bro.
monumental. I don't know if I'd say that it's my favorite, but that one comes to my mind like heavily.
Nice.
You know,
That's a great one, bro. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite artist or band?
Oh wow, dude. So I'm gonna keep it 100% on this, dude. I'm a huge Juice World guy. I know I don't look the part, all right? I look like just a savvy businessman of some sort, right? Dude, I love Juice. He could go into a booth and spit on any beat, and they would say that he would go in there, and they'd be like, all right, like, wonder how many songs he's gonna make tonight, and he would just pump out like 10 songs, and every single one of them are hits. So like, I'll just throw on his unreleased like music, and dude, I vibe to Juice World, bro, really hard. I'm not gonna lie. That's
yeah,
probably
man.
my
No,
go-to.
That's awesome, dude. I've actually heard Juice on your podcast a couple times, and I was like, oh, I think this guy really likes Juice World, man.
Yeah, dude, yeah, bro. I put him on the intro song, you know, like I think his music just looks really good in a video format too. You know, it's weird how like the beats and his lyrics like flow on videos well, you know? But
Definitely.
yeah, he's really good. And then man, it kind of changes over time, but right now it's Juice, bro. And it's been Juice for quite a while now, so
That's
it's probably
sick, man.
sticking.
Juice is epic, man. I love Juice too.
Yeah, I think Don Drago's a runner-up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
like your music, dog. I'm telling you.
Hey, appreciate that, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, last one. What is your dream vacation spot?
Wow, dream vacation spot, man. So I've been blessed to go to some really cool places that I've wanted to go, but the one place I've never gone is Denmark or like Norway, right? I've never gone to where my lineage stems from. And I feel like if I was there, dude, I'd be happy just to breathe the air in that place. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say Denmark, man. I want to go to like Copenhagen. I want to meet the people there, go to the pubs there, look at the history, you know, go on hikes and enjoy the atmosphere. Like I'm going to say probably like that's the dream spot for sure. We'll see if I make it there in my time on earth. I hope I do, but
Oh
you know.
man, I'm sure you will. That's a good one, man. That sounds sick.
Yeah,
Hell
good
yeah.
old Denmark.
For sure, man, for sure. So, in closing, what's next for you? Any new projects, podcasts, any new drops coming up?
So I got some cool guests lined up to come on the podcast. That's popping. Putting a lot of my energy into the construction company as well. On top of that, I've been really enjoying editing videos, man. So I'm getting into that. I'm diving deep into the AI world, and also, man, I can't release the information, but let's just say something that's been big on my mind and like it's going down. Tarpon wrestling, baby.
Oh man,
And Tarpon football too. Tarpon football as well. I'm putting a lot of energy into both of those, and I want to watch it, you know, raise up like a powerhouse program across the board. Tarpon
Bro.
pride forever, man.
That's exciting, man. That's exciting.
Yeah, and I want to get a boat, but we'll see. That's on the back end. Yeah,
I like that, man. That's a good
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
First of all, I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Don Drago, dude. My dog Big Tuna. You know what I'm saying? My boy. And you know, I guess just a shout out to, you know, everybody who's ever believed in me in life and, you know, said good things on my name. And even the ones who didn't, shout out to y'all too, because it's like, hey, I'm going up either way. So yeah, just probably, just my boy Don Drago, my lovers, my haters. Shit,
Yes, sir.
that's it.
I like
And God,
it, man.
bro. And God, straight up.
Oh, 100%, man. And very last thing, man, where can people find you? Socials, website, any of that?
Yeah, man. So y'all can find me on Instagram at the Pancake Jake Show. And from there, you can tap into my link on YouTube, and that's where I release my podcast videos. And, like we were talking earlier, it's really just motivating the youth, cracking jokes, talking about current events, and, every now and then, watching some UFC highlights. It's just it's a fun thing. And if you want to see the building side of things, you can go down that route too and see what we're building, the new projects we're doing. And yeah, just the Pancake Jake Show on Instagram. And from there, you can kind of go to all the other spots,
Yeah, 100%, man. And I'll definitely make sure to put those links in the description, guys. So make sure to go check that out. But again, Jake, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know more about you and your story. Very inspirational. You're the embodiment of a hustler, man, and somebody who's done so much. So again, I want to thank you again. But for all of our viewers here, I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Hustle Coast podcast. And make sure to check out the next episode.